So it was 5 hours of drive time at $100 an hour and 6.5 hours of wait time at $60. Ended up being with tip $1,000 trip. Not bad. And
Not at all.
I took a nap, I was reading, I was calling my girlfriend. I was having a great old time. So no big deal. But again, I tried to find out what's the most affordable ride. Could you give me a ballpark quote? I said, not till, and we were texting back and forth.
Yeah.
I said, not until I talk to you because I want to find the most what? Affordable transportation for you.
I like that.
So last weekend, somebody wanted to book us for 6 hours, but what they really wanted us to do was drop them off for a concert and pick them up off the concert after the concert. So instead of a $600 ride, it was $220. Well, guess what? They appreciated that.
Yeah, I bet.
And guess what? I didn't even have to do the second ride. And the reason I didn't have to do the second ride is because they agreed to be picked up between 10:30 and 11, right? At the concert venue. Now, the thing I always feel bad about, I only drove them 2 blocks and charged them $150 because anyway, long story short. Anyway, so at 10:30 goes, I think it's going to be a half hour later. I go, no problem. Next one, I think it's going to be a half hour later. Next, I think it's going to be 1 a.m. And so if that's too late, we'll just walk back to the hotel. I said, well, unfortunately, it's outside of our window.
Yeah.
And they walked back. I got paid for the return trip. And he goes, we can't wait to use you in the future. And so I'm not trying to build it's 3 hour minimum. It's blah, blah, blah. Now I did do an 11-hour ride 2 weeks ago. It was the president of the Trial Bar Association. I said, everybody hates trial lawyers, right? He goes, yeah, I'm the president of the association. But he needed to go from Kansas City to Jeff City, which is the state capital of Missouri, and fight a bill before the Senate. So it was 5 hours of drive time at $100 an hour and 6.5 hours of wait time at $60. Ended up being with tip $1,000 trip.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. And the 5 hour and 6 hour
Not
wait.
at all.
I took a nap. I was reading. I was calling my girlfriend. I mean, I was having a great old time, right?
Yeah.
So no big deal. But again, I tried to find out what's the most affordable ride. So when you find out, well, we just want to basically, no, we don't need you to sit. I said, now, do you need a driver available at all times? Now, I'm not going to take someone to dinner for an hour and take off. We're going to hang around in the area. Of course, we're billing for that time. Yeah. But when they hear you say, I want to find the most affordable way to take care of you, they remember that.
Yeah. And you build trust, right?
Yeah, it's not this fee, grand total $384 for 2 hours. That's just not it, right? Yeah. So we're going to determine what is the goal for the night. How many passengers? How much luggage do you have? Because I need to know, do I need to take the Navigator or can I take the Lexus? Lexus gets 12 miles more to the gallon than the Navigator. So see, I'm trying to make a smart business decision by getting all the information that I need.
I love this. Okay.
So I had a prom call the other night and I said, what's the goal? And they said, we want to take pictures and listen to music for an hour. I said, do you just want to be dropped? Yeah, we got rides home. So they wanted the Navigator for 2 hours, but I could have sold them 4 hours. We got 3 hour minimum. We charge them a little bit more for Friday night. Yeah. They're happy, I'm happy, and we can do other rides that night. So I try to connect with them. If they're going on vacation, where are you going? Oh man, I love Phoenix in the wintertime, or blah, blah, blah. I'm never in a hurry to get them off the phone. So all my calls take less than 5 minutes.
Man,
right?
I love this. Yeah, no one likes to be rushed. It's like,
no one likes to be rushed. No one likes to think they're a number. I call them. I'll say, hello, Mark. This is, I call you by name because I have your name right there in front of me on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. If I close that screen out, I may call you Jay. So I have to have the screen open.
Yeah.
So I have your name there. And so I ask them, how many are in your party? Because it helps me determine which vehicle to take. And anytime I can take the Lexus ES350 sedan over the Navigator, I'd rather save the gas. And plus, it's a lot more fun to drive, and it rides like a car, not a truck, right?
Yeah.
So we get down to it, and then they invariably, you hear the tension on the call. They're waiting for the rate.
Yeah.
So, what would that cost? I go, that's a great question. We have a new client special. This is your first time with us. Normally it would be $140, but because you're a first time client, it's 110.
Oh, I love that.
They ought now guess what? Our regular rate's 110. But they don't know that.
Sure.
They don't know that. Right. Now we do charge a early morning surcharge of $30. If I'm getting up at 4 a.m., you're paying me, you're paying me $30 extra. And they get that.
Yeah.
You almost apologize for it. Well, because you're coming in at 1:30 a.m., we do have an after hour surcharge, but we're going to waive it because you're a first time client. It's only going to be 130. Well, it's $20 more than our regular, but so they always are getting a deal.
Yeah.
Always. And if they go, oh wow, and even if so, I know what I want to make, right?
Yeah.
And also know what I have to make. And so I call it dynamic pricing. And in case you're not familiar with that term, Major League Baseball, I was a season ticket holder for 10 years with the Royals. Got to see them win the World Series both times, 30 years apart. But right after the World Series, they said, we're going to dynamic pricing. So if they're playing the Yankees, it's $10 more a game. If they're playing the Cardinals, it's $20 because it's cross state. And I called. I said, I've got a freaking ticket holder, spent $50,000, and I can see do it to everybody else, but not the season ticket holders.
Yeah.
Because I was here when you had 6,000 season ticket holders, not 20,000.
Yeah.
Right? No, Mr. Chin. So guess what? I canceled my tickets, but I learned dynamic pricing.
Yeah.
The dynamic pricing means if you're the owner or you have a partner or an assistant, they can do dynamic pricing and you're not going to bust them for taking $10 less. You're going to close a lot more deals.
Yeah.
You get a feel for, so then I say, if they say business, I say, will you be paying for the ride out of your pocket or will your employer be paying for it? Dynamic pricing.
Yeah. That's a great question.
110 if they're paying for it, 150 if the employer's paying for it.
Yeah. Because other people's money, right?
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. So again, you're not going to get that if you have this script for some $10 an hour employee. It's 110, 20% gratuity, tax, blah, 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 blah. And the other word we use, so when we give them the final rate, we say no hidden fees. That's all in.
Yeah.
Except gratuity. And then of course, I always ask when they confirm it, I'll say, would you like to pay by credit card or Venmo? And would you like to add the gratuity now or time of service?